Alright, so welcome back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and this one is going to be a continuation of the set 13 complete breakdown that I had before. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. This is going to be against Devin, who's playing the future Gohan out of set 13. It's going to be a little bit different, but giving a little bit more of a theme, if anything. And I'm obviously playing set 13 Bardock. This one, I didn't record the mulligan, but I did end up keeping the Unison, the 1-drop Bardock, and as well as the 5-drop Bardock. The other ones I am pretty sure I just drew. Here I went ahead and swung, played out the Borgos, just the draw one, since you're just not going to be drawing. He's got to swing to leader or to the Unison, so either I'm going to have to establish to build a hand, or I'm going to have to awaken early, which in this leader, honestly, you're going to have to awaken early. I don't really see you sitting on 8 life or 7 life or whatever for very long. You get no value out of that other than just playing things for free as far as the 1-drop goes, or all the 1-drops. He does go ahead and swing from Unison to Unison. I did add a marker for him taking a life from 8 to 7. He does play out the Ox King and as well as the Son Gohan, which is a blocker, I think at 6 or less life. And then he plays out the 1-drop Trunks. All those cards are very annoying, if anything. And now he's playing out a 2-cost Chappelle, which in this one you're kind of forced, instead of using the 1-drop Bardock to pay 1 and then swing, you're gonna have to just pay 1 and then pay another for the 5-drop, which most of the time isn't going to be that big of a deal, because now you just have a 20k swing, which I'm probably going to swing into the Bardock or the Chappelle, because as soon as you play the 1-drop and you swing, you're just not going to be able to have any energy to play with. I do have to minus the Ox King because it doesn't give himself berry unless there is another one, instead of the Gohan, which is again going to be another annoyance to deal with. You do use the 7, or I did use a 7 after playing the top 7 to play, and dropped out the fascia. And then afterwards, I went ahead and played the Pasha, look at the top 5 to +1 a card, or at least to plus a card, I should say. And then I get the Bardock afterwards, which might help in the future as far as playing him out and then minusing something afterwards. So he is a 20k swing to his blocker, which dies, and then he gets to awaken due to the effect. And I'm going to go ahead and just swing to his Chappelle. I'm just trying to verify everything as far as the effects and what he can do. But I went ahead and looked at the top 5. I think due to the autos and how they are, I can just choose the fascia first. And then now that I have 3 or more mono red Saiyan cards on the field, I get to awaken. He ends up dying 15 to 15. He's not going to use any resources for that. He just has a blocker. He's tapped out, and he only has 6 cards in hand, which as soon as you start swinging, they're going to just build a hand over and over. As you can see, I'm tapped out, which is not going to be that big of a deal. You have a super combo and you have a ton of 1-cost 0-5s basically. I'm swinging with a 20k and another 20k, so he has to kind of figure out what he wants to do afterwards. I'm going 25 here because he's at 4. I want him to go down to 3, so the Fearless Pan or anything else that I'm using in my hand is going to become a little bit more useful. I think Devin is pretty smart here, swinging at my Unison anytime he wants to, or anytime he can. I don't know if I added a marker here. Maybe I think he did. Yeah, I did add a marker here, so that's good. But as soon as I am at 6 markers, it is pretty much trouble. Just doing the double Fearless Pan, and in some cases, if you get to 6 markers, you pay out 3 on one of them, and then put out 2 more basically. But the issue is that I don't think he understands that you can only pay 2 for the activate main on the 3-drop when you're at 4 or more energy. I'm trying to point that out to him, and honestly, Devin is just a guy sometimes, right? He is just a guy. So he returns it, and it kind of changes his play a little bit. That card is actually very, very strong, being a dual attacking, technically double striking critical on his turn. So I mean, honestly, that's something that is just kind of annoying to deal with. He is swinging 19k into a 15k because they are all 15ks with bond. You really want to protect these because honestly, if you let them die, that's less likely, or you're less likely to have bond going forward. So, and also the Bardock does play something from the drop. So if you combo something out from your hand, you might as well just go ahead and make it useful for later. So the Bardock 1-drop TP, and as well as the Borgos are good targets for that. He does swing out to the Unison here. I do believe the Trunks gets 6k in critical, something like that. Or no, yeah, I think he gets 5k in critical. Either way, it's not very fun to deal with. 5k in critical, yep. He is swinging 25 to my Bardock, which I would like to keep. So I can just super combo out. And just go ahead and charge one of these bad boys. I'm gonna hold the Violent Rage just so I can survive a turn. I'm not gonna tap out here, I don't think. I want to establish more of a board. I'm just gonna minus the 5k on the 19k Basil, which is now 14k, which is nice. It's because I can either swing into it, or I can kind of decide where else to go. You know, the issue with this deck is that as soon as you start swinging, he's gonna start untapping. So I did swing with Leader here, which is not the greatest because I can swing into a Flying Nimbus, but it is what it is. I'm not really too concerned about it. The Trunks does have Barrier, which is annoying. But it is what it is. He tries to tap down my Barrier 5-drop. Work out. He just taps down that. I think in retrospect, I think I should have swung and then used the Borgos just to draw one, and then just pay one and then swung for the Bardock just so I can remove the Basil. But that's okay, because the Bardock is still 15k critical and he has the Basil as well. But I think I just decide to go ahead and go to 20, kill out the thing. Probably a little bit better just to not kill that guy, or go to 20 because he was a 14k, but is what it is. I go ahead and draw one, get a super combo out of it, and these guys get the boost for 20k each. And then now he gets to restand, which is quite annoying. I wanted to bottom deck something, but I didn't know what. I didn't want to give him 2 cards, so I just didn't care about the Piccolo there. He does combo out, I do believe. So 25 or 30 to 26, I think. I get a 25k swing and a draw, which is nice, and another Violent Race. That's what's up. Go ahead and swing. I'm trying to decide what, or I just tell him. Pretty sure it's to the Leader. But he does go down to 2, which is nice, honestly. I think I start swinging with the 20ks. He's just going to go ahead and use this. I don't know. I don't think... Wait, he can't use it. Wait, he can't use it. Oh, yeah, he can't use it. I don't know if he used it on this turn. It's just been such a long turn since I keep playing battle cards, but I'm pretty sure he used it on the Bardock, the one drop Bardock. So Devin, if you're watching this, you're just a big cheater at this point. You're just a big cheater. So I'm gonna swing 15k into Leader. Like I said, I have Violent Race. It's not that big of a deal, because with this deck, against his deck at least, he is only going to be able to play 1 or 2 things, which is going to be the Trunks. And as you can tell, I don't think yellow really has too much board clearance. It can keep things tapped, and it can negate skills for the most part. I'm just swinging to BM him to bait out a negate. It just didn't work out, unfortunately. That is fine. That is perfectly fine. So I go ahead and pass turn. One cool thing is if you do draw into a Piccolo Unison here, you can just put one under, and then you can just double Fearless Pan. I just really like doing that. I've done it many times at this point, and it's just great. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the Bardock 5-drop attackers, and then a Fearless Pan in my hand. So you already know what's going to happen here. Obviously, I'm tapped out for down 2. That's a real bad thing about Bardock, is that, especially with a lot of aggro decks, that's where King Piccolo, that's where Red Broly and a couple others in the past have really excelled, and where Bardock really shows its weaknesses, which I think, you know, a lot of people as time goes will change. It's the fact that you lose the advantage of being able to get advantage out of your hand and as well as the board at the same time, you know. And this is where it kind of shows that, where if you kind of overextend, which you kind of have to as Bardock, like I said, playing the long game is generally not the play. Topo is going to neg your hand where you don't even plus too much, and you also have a number of other hindrances where if you're wasting cards and not attacking, then you're most likely losing. So you get him down to 1 life, and you hope for the best next turn, which Flying Nimbus is going to be kind of annoying here. You kind of have to play around that. I wanted to see if I wanted to charge this. I think Violent Rays is probably better to keep in hand, so I told him that I'm going to keep it back because he kept messing up. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and use the bond effect or the activate main to gain up to 25k in total. I was just checking everything as far as the effects, just making sure that I'm good to go on that. I wanted to play out the Bardock so I can have another target for Fearless Pan. And then give everybody +5. It's pretty important actually, because when you start not keeping track of your markers, it kind of gets annoying, because that could be the difference between a 0-5 and not. He does Flying Nimbus here, which I think is not exactly their play, but it is what it is. I went ahead and drew the Borgos out of the drop and played it. Okay, so he negates with the actual effect. I actually do have the King Piccolo to play. If he didn't have Nimbus, probably be a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and swing. 25 to lead. I think this is where he kind of messed up. I just wanted to get another card in and drop, and then drop his hand just a little bit. He has a 30k, which I'm 35 here. He has to waste a 10k or a super combo. So I mean, it's just sort of putting him in a position of like, okay, I'm probably still gonna die here, but do I want to waste some cards out of it? And he does, simply because of the auto effect for Gohan. And I think he's realizing where I think he should have blocked the first one and then negated and then use the auto effect afterwards, which is super important because now you had a blocker afterwards that gained that 6k, and now you can get around everything else. The Bardock I couldn't really combo with, but that's not really, yeah, I think I found that one out. Either way, a very close game, and as you can tell, with the amount of attackers and just pure combo power, you just kind of get around it and get over it. This is, you know, a little bit different because this is not the current sets. This is definitely set 13 exclusively, and as well as where, you know, we're all a little bit new to the decks and how everything looks like. But let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have gameplay or if you plan to play this deck, let me know. Maybe on the stream you can kind of catch me there, and we can kind of go from there and test together. But other than that, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Subscribe if you're new, use the TCGP link, follow me on Twitch at aandroidd. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.